Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is April 11th, and today's episode is going to cover some exciting news coming out of the community call. There's also a lot of news about the Smart Node version 2, and we've got a new airdrop that's coming for potential Rocket Pool stakers. So let's find out what's going on.
10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Right, so we're going to start today's episode with the community call that happened yesterday. And there were two parts to this community call. The first part was Flat Money, who is a new protocol on Base that is launching, and they were interviewed by Jasper. And the second part of the episode was a conversation between Jasper and Langers about all the different things that are happening with Rocket Pool. So Jasper was kind enough to provide a summary, so let's get started with that. So he says about the Flat Money thing, they talked about what Flat Money was. Basically, it's a perpetual-based flat token. The users can go long RETH and unit, or they can provide liquidity unit and earn trading fees, staking yield, liquidation fees, and borrow fees. It's a bit like a decentralized Athena in that it can capture the borrow rate, and the underlying token is based on a hedge. They have points campaign that will potentially lead to an airdrop. Also, their partnership with D-Hedge for automated arbitrage vaults and synthetic integrations are coming, and they will have $2.5 million worth of initial liquidity leveraging against, meaning early fees should be low. Jasper also gave them a huge thank you for helping with the IMC's incentives on Base, because of their incentives, the balancer pool for RETH was able to grow 60%, and they launched a new airdrop pool that's so comparable TVL to the balancer pool. Currently, they're getting 14% APR in the Aero pool and 10% in the Beefy Balancer pool. So those rewards are looking really good. So a huge shout out to Flat Money for that. I think they're going to be launching on mainnet soon. Then the portion with Langers, they started with tokenomics. There was a lot of discussion about tokenomics. So they started with background. Langers summarized how the research incubator was great and how they were ready to start refining the scope of ideas. They noted a meeting with Samus and Val that happened earlier in the week, just to answer any questions the team had of their tokenomics proposals. The first question was a meta question of who is responsible for what between the PDAO and the team for getting all this out the door. Langers responded that he wanted the ideation to come from the community, refinement to be collaborative, and he mentioned that the team had begun to pursue legal analysis given the apparent risky nature of some of the value capture proposals regarding security status. Notes that it will take some time, but they want us to be informed before we vote on any value capture method. In the meantime, he hopes we can do a ranked vote for preference, which he discussed with Val and Samus. And then Kane's work with Houston was discussed, so most of his Houston work is done. And then there's a status of megapools was asked about. So Kane and Fornax will start working on megapools together starting this week. And Kane has to finish making sure that the DevNet is ready, but he'll be focused on Saturn stuff. Langers has already pivoted to focus on Saturn stuff. Megapool has seen some flux given the max EB situation, but there's a prototype that Kane has built that needs to be solidified. However, it should allow the team to hit the ground running. The team will be meeting with the core devs to discuss max EB design, and there's minor hope for easy consolidation from mini pools into megapools. That would be so good. And then Jasper says there's a vulnerability that benefits RETH holders related to consolidating validators that don't belong to you if the core devs were to implement execution layer initiated consolidations. There's a brief discussion of withdrawal address initiated consolidations, which would be huge for Rocket Pool, but it's quickly shot down. The core devs are trying to get a DevNet together by next month, so that complexities are being frowned upon. And then there was a clarifying question in the statement. So really, Megapool is not a smart contract that supports multiple validators, but rather a smart contract that supports one max EB validator up to 2048 ETH. This means that it's no longer a validator management contract, but just a big ass validator, which is what would happen under max EB. And then the thoughts on centralizing pressures of sublinear bonding. Langer said this was one of his initial worries when first learning about sublinear bonding, but when looking at the math, he doesn't seem to think it's too big a worry. The point at which the benefits plateau is fairly early, so the trend towards centralization shouldn't be too strong. And then he says the thoughts on the value capture proposals, and Langers was quite happy with all three ideas. He thinks buy and burn is probably the simplest and easiest to sell to the community. However, he has worries about the measurable positive benefits that will have on token price. So my side here is that initially, when there's not too much too much ETH coming in as rewards, the burn will be less. But as the protocol grows, ideally, then the burn will become more substantial. Anyway, he goes on to say, on liquidity providing, Langers was initially skeptical due to third-party element and having complexity for governance. However, he's a big fan of tangible benefit that having buy-side liquidity will provide. He brought up the Tim Jansen, former Balancer dev, idea of a liquidity providing token for collateral and how that could be an avenue. This would be like a mixture of LP and voter share. And voter share, Langers noted that it would be very simple to implement since it was derivative of the existing model. However, there's legal analysis that needs to be completed. We mentioned then Jasper and Langers mentioned that it was just today that Uniswap received a well notice and they have a similar fee switch in their protocol. And next, with technical feasibility of the different components, Langers says that all forms of value capture are feasible to build, though the LP route might require some extra analysis and work. Further, he says that with a grain of salt, as these ideas are not yet fully being fleshed out into specs, and unknown roadblocks could emerge in the future. And then he was asked about how should the different components of Saturn be packaged? Will there be multiple upgrades? And Langers says that he expects at least 2 upgrades and wants to split up the features. The first release, he would want to incorporate megapools for MEB, some form of value capture, universal variable commission, LEB4s, and ETH-only validators. Having non-RPL staking is crucial, and offering that requires an evaluation of value capture. The subsequent upgrade could incorporate sublinear bonding. Langers also brought up whether or not they should keep rollback and how to handle upgrades generally. The team is keen on getting rid of rollback compatibility as it makes development much harder and adds security risk. However, the team wants to keep upgrades opt-in rather than force users to upgrade. That's going to be an interesting area of discussion because I think the community is kind of split on those at the moment as well. Next, with the bond curves and tied to megapools, mean they have to be in the same release. Bonding curves and sublinear bonding is not tied to megapools. Sublinear bonding requires megapools, but megapools does not require sublinear bonding. There's a lot of reasons to upgrade without sublinear bonding. So that's access to consolidation, compounding, LEB4s, ETH-only megapools, ETH-only validators, etc. And then what gaps are in the proposal so far? What's missing from the RPIPs? What I do is, do you need to spend more time thinking about? And then Langers says he's pretty happy with the progress in the RPIPs. He mentioned wanting a UVC to have a toggle to benefit our ETH demand if it's needed. Additionally, some analysis on if we should phase in ETH-only pools or not, especially in light of our ETH demand. So this is actually really amazing in that I think Langers did a great job of summarizing all the different tokenomics stuff that's going on and giving us the news of all of those. So a huge shout out especially goes to Jasper for providing those notes that I just read out for you all. So thank you, Jasper, for that. That was amazing for you. Okay, next we have a couple of updates from Joe. So Joe here says, serious question, thinking about releasing version 2 beta 1 before I publish the what's new docs. Is this a bad idea? So basically what Joe is asking here is that he has the version 1 beta of SmartNode Stack version 2 ready, and however his documentation for that, the what's new in that, is not ready. So if there's any changes, people won't know what's going on with that. So what he's saying is, should I release the beta before I release the document? And Halulu says, I've been looking for ways to break my Haleshki node anyway. And then Joe says it doesn't work with Atlas, it only works with Houston. So if you try to use it on mainnet, it would break. Either way, I'd have to wait until they put Houston on the Can Haleshki testnet. So that's the earliest it can happen, which hopefully should be within the next couple of weeks. And then Joe says, just thinking out loud about releasing it as a you're on your own right now thing until I have some docs for it. And then he says, truth be told, I'm running through all the commands and fixing little things here and there, but functionally it's just about good enough for beta 1. Patches are some stuff he wants to add that makes the tasks watchtower loop better first, and I have to solve a deadlock in there. Otherwise it's pretty good. And Patches later comments and saying that that's not that big an issue. This is the big thing I have left to test from a regular node operator point of view is the whole deposit, stake, exit, close cycle. So then, yeah, Patches says my bit isn't blocking unless you're waiting to see if the deadlock magically goes away. And Joe says, yeah, I've started them already. It's asking if the demand is high enough that merits putting it out there before said docs are done. So Steely says, my vote is stick it out, and disclaimer is it on your own. And Patches says, disclaimer, stay out of support and revive the beta thread instead. So that is interesting because it looks like we should be getting Smart Node Stack version 2 soon. And then Joe here says, I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but here's what I have so far. So what he has now is a version of the what's new document. This is the following as list of what's changed from version 1 so far in no particular order. So the installation, it says it comes in a .deb package. The users running Debian or Debian derivative distributions can install it via sudo app install rocket pool and update it via sudo app update and sudo blah 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 and so on. Installation no longer puts off your core system files into your rocket pool directory. So that's cool. And then there's daemon stuff, the API node, watchtower, whatnot. Daemon now uses multi-call. You can run the node in passwordless mode, which is pretty cool. And then because then if someone steals your node machine, they can't steal your crypto off there if you don't have a withdrawal address set up. And then there's some stuff about the API. There's some more stuff about logging, and there's more stuff about transactions. Once that is provided in a nice format, I can go through it all for you all. But it looks like Joe's getting really close now to getting version 2 out there. So I'm really excited to get around with that. Okay, next we have news of a new airdrop that should be coming to Rocket Pool node operators. So here it's Omni network. I'm going to read the announcement soon. But Eric here says that this airdrop will be going to solo stakers. So let's have a look at who they're talking about. So the Omni Genesis airdrop. Now, what is Omni? Omni is a platform designed to integrate Ethereum rollups, offering developers and users universal access to all of Ethereum's liquidity and capabilities without compromise. So they became one of the first actively validated services. So I'm going to talk about that later in the episode, but Omni basically are becoming one of the AVSs of EigenLayer, and they are now getting up their token ready for airdrop. So they're saying that they're going to Genesis. Token is going to be 100 million tokens, 3 million of which are going to be airdropped. So just 3% of the supply, which is actually a really low supply airdrop, but 50% will go to the community, and then we'll get 13.3% to EigenLayer restakers, 10% to solo stakers, and then some NFT holders are going to get a bunch. So the Omni community will get 1.5 million, and then EigenLayer restakers, you have to be in the top 10,000 restakers to be eligible for Omni Genesis rewards, determining using ranked restaked points gathered from EigenLayer and liquid restaking protocols. So it seems like you have to have quite a lot restaked there, because one of my addresses has over 10,000 points, like 15,000 points, I think, and that's not eligible for this airdrop. So as an EigenLayer restaker airdrop. But however, the Beacon Chain solo stakers, here they say solo stakers on Ethereum's Beacon Chain are critical to upholding Ethereum decentralization, blah, blah, blah. We're going to give it to the first 5,000 solo stakers who claim they're going to receive 60 Omni tokens each. So a lot of discussion then started about what exactly will be covered there. And it seems like, I asked in the airdrop channel, will we be getting any of this? And people started playing around with it. Meg here says that beacons, like node addresses, can claim. So what will happen is they've got a claim dashboard. You can put your node address in there. However, so far you'll have to load your keys onto a hardware wallet to do that. There's no way to claim the token without having your hardware wallet connected. Without having your node keys connected. So that's something to be careful about. But it looks like there's eligibility there for your node if you are one of the first 5,000 people who comes to claim it. So there's a bunch of discussion going on about how it's all going to work and whether we'll actually be able to get anything. But I don't know what 60 tokens will be worth. Because it's only 100 million, it could be worth like $50 or $60 each. So you might get, $500-$600 basically. $10 would make it $600, right? So maybe like, $10 each or something like that. But I'm not really sure yet exactly how that's going to work out. So good luck if you're eligible for the airdrop. Like I said, I didn't get it through EigenLayer, which is a shame, but otherwise it's all good. Okay, so the next news we have is last night was rewards night, of course. So that means everybody got some nice rewards, which is lovely. And the ratio here was locked in at 0.007972, which is the lowest rewards period ratio we've had so far. And then we saw that, the different snapshots were started to be taken of the rewards. So the period ended. So here, rocket scientists were first. Then we had Fizz, then Anthony Sassano, then Lighthouse, Rocket Pool 1, Beacon Chain, Rocket Pool T, Rocket Pool 3, Rocket Pool 2, and then Bankless and Consensus wrapped it up. So by 4:40, it was all done. So this took, a few hours to get it all done, because, it took just over 2 hours to get it all done. 3 hours, nearly 3 hours to get it all done, because the rolling records was turned off this time, but then the rewards went through and the snapshot was taken and it was all good. So if you want to claim your rewards, then you can do that at now, basically, if you are eligible for rewards, of course, because the ratio was down so much. A whole lot of people were feeling quite bad about that and not getting their rewards, sadly. Okay, and as soon as the new rewards period went through, we got a large deposit into the smoothing pool. So here we had a 39.7 ETH deposit, which was actually really nice. So sorry for those people for that person who deposited that, but who proposed that block, sorry, but I'll be happy to take it. I'm actually talking about the deposit pool, the smoothing pool. I keep calling it the deposit pool. Talking about the smoothing pool, we actually had one of the worst months of the smoothing pool so far. And basically, for our 13,700 mini pools in the smoothing pool, we only earned about, that's actually this month. Last month we earned 322 ETH from the 14,200 and let me just see this, make sure I'm getting it right. On April 9th. Oh yeah, this was it. This is the last one, sorry. So yeah, we earned 214 ETH, which is, quite pathetic actually, from 13,700 mini pools. That kind of compares to some of the earliest smoothing pools that we had, which was, in the low hundreds, low 200s, high 100s, but from far fewer validators. So that's of course low ETH gas fees, and there not being too much volatility in ETH is kind of causing those to come down. So that's a bit of a shame. Okay, next we've got news of a new client update, and this one's from Bisu. And Bisu have got version 24.3.3, and this is a recommended hotfix for mainnet, Sepolia, and Haleshi users, especially if your peer numbers are currently low. And this is a peer-to-peer blob transaction hotfix. So if you're using Bisu and if you're having issues with your validator, then updating to 24.3.3 might be the way forward for you. Okay, next we're going to be talking about some non-Rocket Pool related stuff. And the first one here is this screenshot this image from Light Clients. It just says 3074. So EIP 3074 is an EIP that's been added to Pectra, and this one is going to massively upgrade the usability of Ethereum. So here, Twitter made a summary of it saying that the Ethereum community is buzzing with excitement as EIP 3074 is officially confirmed for inclusion in next network upgrade Pectra. The highly anticipated update promises to revolutionize Ethereum's user experience by introducing meta transactions and batch transactions. These features will allow for gas fees to be paid from another account and enable multiple transactions in a single call, significantly reducing transaction costs and enhancing overall efficiency. The excitement is palpable, with developers like Reth already implementing and testing the changes. So here is the tweet from Reth. So this is Georgios from Reth saying EIP 3074 is coming in the next Ethereum hard fork. This is a big deal. Wallet user experience will 10x. Congratulations to Ethereum and the EIP 3074 sponsors. Reth has already implemented and tested it. We are fans. Let's go. So one of the main things that will happen from this is, like DC Investor here says, the smart wallets will get better and way more advanced UX for Ethereum. And basically what will happen is you won't have to do transaction like token approvals or that kind of stuff anymore. So it's pretty cool to see that. Good job. Okay, next I just want to give a shout out to the Staking Summit. So this is an event that's going to be taking place next to DevConnect in Thailand this year. If you are interested in attending the Staking Summit, then there are tickets available now. The longer you wait to get tickets, the more expensive those tickets will become. So definitely keep that in mind. Okay, earlier I alluded to some EigenLayer news. Well, EigenLayer they had their mainnet launch yesterday with their AVSs, and the EigenDA was the first AVS to go live. And now we have 6 additional AVSs that are coming online. So here, EigenLayer said this is a mainnet launch and AVS mainnet launch, and EigenLayer ecosystem takes another leap forward with the launch of stage 3 on mainnet. Following the launch of EigenDA as the first AVS on EigenLayer, at this stage introduced a powerful group of AVSs, AltLayer's MAC restake rollups, with Exterio being the first restake rollup showcase, Beavis's coprocessor, eOracle's Ethereum native Oracle, Lagrange's state committees, witness chains DPIN coordination layer, and now live and ready to be delegated and run by EigenLayer stakers and operators. So you can read about what each of those do and how they all work in the blog post. But it looks like things are happening. And this is part of the Omni thing as well. So I think Omni is saying that they're one of the first, so they want to do their airdrop. That's what we covered at the beginning of the episode. So talking about EigenLayer, yesterday there was this article by CoinDesk saying that EigenLayer is crypto's biggest project launch this year, but it's still missing crucial functionality. And the crucial functionality it was missing was this slashing, for people who misbehave on their AVSs. So it says the restaking protocol with 15 billion in deposits won't pay rewards to depositors and is missing its mission critical slashing feature. So people started talking about it. So pulling out quotes. So Genex is restaking in quotation marks, and Meg says, imagine that instead of each about just how they act their security, kind of like doubtful of it. And Halula replies by saying, that's okay, Solana hasn't implemented slashing, and it's at 75 billion. Here we have a quote from EtherFi, says there are a lot of other projects that just take shortcuts and kind of balloon at a much, much higher risk than this, said Mike Siligazzi of EtherFi, liquid restaking service that deposited 3.8 billion worth of users' funds into EigenLayer. And then Mike says, I think relative to other crypto projects, this has actually been reasonably measured. And then Val says, yes, an unbiased third party. And then another quote from Val here saying, even though the full slashing is not live, we are going to run the system in beta and make sure that people are able to use it and maybe have redundant backups and other stuff. And then Val says, just be honest, the full slashing is not live. You should be saying there is no slashing right now instead of kind of skirting around it. And then Invis says in EigenLayer is the next FTX. But basically everyone was kind of here. There was a quote from the article as well saying there are concerns that EigenLayer's design is tantamount to rehypothecation, an oft criticized practice from traditional finance where collateral is repackaged for higher potential returns, but also higher risk of losses. Kanan vehemently rebuts this argument, stating that, among other things, EigenLayer is different from conventional rehypothecation because it grants users complete control over their assets. So about the concerns, Mig says us, no, not us. And then Val says, why would opt-in rehypothecation not be rehypothecation? And Halulu says, they only said it's not conventional. And then Ponzi is not Ponzi with the SPONSI is not a Ponzi with the ZI, as far as I know. And Val says, wow, what a vehement rebuttal that was. So basically everyone in trading was kind of like roasting EigenLayer. And it seems like it's kind of fair, I think, for most of that. It didn't get mean-spirited or anything, but there's a lot to be criticized about EigenLayer so far. Okay, next we have this amazing song from Dondo, and this is what we're going to finish the episode on. I can't play it because you guys won't be able to hear it properly, but go and check the link and listen to this song. It's basically a song all about rocket pool, and people were saying, Snow saying, WTF am I listening to? And T-Pan says, who did this? Snow says, this is amazing. He says, what an effing jam this is. So he was actually really happy. Patches says, what the actual F did I just listen to? And then Snow says, Dondo, did you make this? It's incredible. And Dondo says, I kind of made it. And then there's a link. And then Snow says, I give you all the credit. It's very enjoyable. And T-Pan says, RPL is the buy. This song is your due diligence. And then Snow quotes, Daddy Whack went out for milk. So I was like, what? Anyway, let's go have a look at the actual website for it. The song is called Come Back Whack. And there's a whole bunch of lyrics. It's all about like rocket pool being on the roll. The chorus goes, rocket pool, staking's evolution, smart contracts, smart nodes, a flawless execution, community driven, always surging ahead, rocket pools, the protocol others wish they had. And then there's all these other like comments in your head about like, you know, rocket pool's growth or lack of growth, smart node version 2 coming out, but also updates, and then all these other things about RETH resilience, etc. And then it finishes, the outro goes, rocket pool's the future, decentralized and strong, staking's easy as silk, trading doctors, stop the bleeding, Daddy Whack went out for milk, I'm sure he's coming back soon. So it's really funny. So it turns out I asked Dondo, like, where did you get this information from? Like, what was going on? It says, did you pull the audio from one of my episodes and got it to make lyrics out of it? And Dondo says he got the audio from my episode and then pulled the text. We also got one of the bi-weekly updates, and he said that the song was made in my honor. So thank you so much. I love it. It was a great song. Definitely go and give that a listen. And yeah, I can't really do it justice. I can't capture the audio well enough for you all to hear it on the show, but definitely go and give that a listen. Of course, the link is below. I think you'll really enjoy it. Anyway, thanks all for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community. I hope you are all doing well, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.